Hey guys, what's up? JP here, and I'm back with another Hearthstone Daily video here. And let's see what the quest is. The quest is win 5 games with Mage or Shaman. So let's just do Shaman. And that's not Shaman. This is Shaman. So let's see if we can get 5 quick wins here. Now I'm hoping that this video will be full of like rush decks and me stomping rush decks with this Shaman deck. Because that would just make this video a lot faster. And I am aware I missed another day of videos here, but yeah, I've been coming back pretty late from work here, so it's almost impossible for me to get any wins. Alright, so that's pretty much the dream hand against a Warlock. So this would help quite a bit against Zoo, which is what I'm expecting it to be. Like, not many people run the
It's time for a little blood.
So here we go.
I fight.
Now he could have a Mortal Coil, and that's fine, I think. Next turn we'll do this. Still could have the Mortal Coil. So let's see what we get here. You know what? I don't want this here, so let's. So clearly I botched that placement here a little bit, but I don't think it's too earth-shattering. Alright. Now I might want to save the Hex for the Doom Guard here.
I fight.
Okay, so now I have 2 minions that trade for that, which is pretty good.
Put this apple on your head.
Oh, unless he kills one. Actually, it makes no difference. Oh, that's probably the worst target he could have hit. Now this is an interesting draw here. We could Defender, make both into a 2/2, trade for 2 minions. But I think I want to play a bit more greedy here. Go for that. Now the Earth Elemental is the unique feature of this deck. I put it in specifically just to beat Zoo. So this forces the Doom Guard out, but the Doom Guard just trades, so it's not really that great for him. Alright, so we can hex one of these. And next turn at 7, I think we would Azure Drake and Hero Power.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Like, I'm not gonna Black Knight that frog, it makes no sense. So let's see what we get here. Oh, that's a brilliant draw for next turn actually. So, oh, and that's a brilliant totem. So I'm getting pretty lucky here, but this deck was designed to do really well against Zoo. As you can see, the Earth Elemental is just such a powerful card. So if he trades here, that's good for him. If he doesn't, well, it's not bad, but do I want to do... You know what, I think I'm gonna play greedy here. Like, the Feral Spirits trade really well in this situation, especially the Healing Totem. So he would have to use all 3 attacks to break through. As you can see, this deck is really, really strong against Zoo. So I'll show off this deck, just so that you guys can take a look at it later. That's really cute what he just tried to do there. So this ought to piss him off quite a bit here. So yeah, that was a bit of a misplay once again. For some reason I'm not really focusing as well as I should. I should have played that first. Swung in for just 2 more damage, but okay, so that's a nice draw for him. He trades. He kind of trades 2 minions for that, but
Get in there and fight!
that's really cute. Alright then, so let's do the Earth Elemental. Pick that off. Play the X.
Elements guide me. Into the breach!
So this way he has... oh, once again I'm playing terribly here. Should have swung in, but I don't think it really makes too big of a difference. There's really nothing much you can draw here. You could draw a Doom Guard, but I would just trade out the Doom Guard.
For the crusade!
And looks like we win. So yeah, this is what I was hoping. Kind of what I was hoping that would happen here. I would just run into a bunch of Zoo decks or Warrior or like Paladin aggro or something like that and just stomp them. So don't get me wrong, this deck does pretty okay against some other control decks as well, but it was specifically designed to counter the Zoo, or in my opinion, made to counter the Zoo. If you excuse me, I'm like, just finished my workout. I'm having my protein shake. So here we go, game 2.
Roll! This is Valera!
Watch
So it is a rogue.
that.
For Doomhammer!
The Thalnos is the only one I would consider throwing back, but I think I'll keep it. So yeah, let's keep this hand. Now, of course, with the current meta, there are 3 big rogue decks: the Tempo Rogue, the Miracle Rogue, and the sort of spell power-ish kind of rogue. But if he, yeah. Oh my goodness, this is the spell power miracle nonsense rogue. So let's get rid of that quick. Or rather, it's the other version of the miracle rogue. Oh no, it's not. Okay, I'm like thoroughly confused now. So let's get rid of those. So this is the burn deck rogue by the looks of it. This is really interesting. I have not really played against this deck with the Shaman. So yep, the deadly poison. Swing in. So I'm just gonna do it like this, and because of the Cold Light Oracle, I'm just gonna play as many cards as I can per turn. Oh, that was probably the worst thing that could have happened, but it's not that devastating, I guess. So I think I want to play this. Try to swing in for some damage here. I do have way too many cards in my hand. So the sap would ruin this, I think. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, this is a Eviscerate.
Taste the mana.
Okay, curious choice, but Okay, so with this deck, we don't want to be holding on to any cards, so we're gonna get rid of as many cards as possible.
Elements guide me.
You really have to try and play around the cards with this deck. Um, Now it does run sap, so I think the fire elemental would be the next logical move. Unless I have lethal that I'm missing here. So yep, just gonna kill that. So now I definitely don't have lethal. So yeah, we're gonna keep swinging in here.
Elements guide me.
So we've kind of reduced the number of cards in my hand quite to a somewhat safe amount, like a Colite Seer's Shadow Step nonsense would wreck my day, but yeah, as you can see, pretty solid deck. This is of course I wouldn't say my own invention. Well, actually, I think it is my own invention. I've not really seen decks quite like this before. They're similar-ish because every single shaman runs the same few cards. Like, every shaman has the maybe like Thalnos or the lightning bolts and stuff like that. The really expected cards, and then everything else is sort of my own concoction, like the Argent Squires and whatnot.
Thrall versus Garrosh.
Okay, so if this is Control Warrior, this would be
For
the deck that I would struggle against quite a bit. So we're hoping it's not Control Warrior, which is a really bad thing to hope for because in all likelihood it is. Like nobody really plays Aggro Warrior anymore. They do have that mid-rangey kind of warrior. So if this is Control Warrior, I'm guessing I would want to be hitting him really hard, really fast. So so I think I coin here. So the fact that he armored on turn 1 is probably an indicator that it's Control Warrior. So I should be expecting the throbbing to come down really, really soon.
What now?
Now the reason why I didn't oh wow. So you know what, I think I just keep going here.
I fight.
And I'm still waiting for something to be played here to show off what this is. But I'm definitely guessing this is Control. So the Pyromancer is kind of an indicator of that. Okay, so next would be a Slam, I guess. Execute. So that's pretty well played on his part here. I'm just gonna armor up, or rather throw out the hero power.
Let the pain speak to me.
So that's really nicely done on his part. Azure Drake, it's a no-brainer here. And ideally I play the Fire Elemental next turn, but alright, so he's probably gonna swing into the Azure Drake after that. So that's a slam. Swing in. Probably armor up. Or maybe he drew into like the armor smith. Yeah, so that's the armor up. Um, Now, the Fire Elemental isn't the biggest creature in this deck, but it is one that would draw out some removal. I think I'm pretty much dead. This deck wasn't meant to fight. Oh my goodness, Arcanite Reaper. So this looks like the mid-range. Mid-range warrior. Which I think is playing it too controlling.
The light.
So this looks like I'm committing a lot, but it's actually 2 cards. So Brawl wouldn't be too terrible. Actually, I could have skipped the totem so that Brawl wouldn't be devastating at all. And that Arcanite Reaper is so beautiful, my goodness. That's a really nice card. So let's see what he plays next. Now that's turn 8. This is where the big stuff come out, but since I see the Arcanite Reaper, it leads me to believe that this is the mid-range mid-range warrior. Something like I think you would see Noxious or whatever his name is play this kind of deck.
I fight.
So I refuse to commit anymore to the board because of Brawl. If he clears my board, then I'll play Brawl. Because he doesn't want to play Brawl, probably because of the
Pain, speak to me.
Armor made to fit.
My shield for Argus.
So this is a really interesting predicament I find myself in. So I'm gonna give him a whole bunch of armor here.
I fight.
But I don't think it's on the grand scheme too devastating. So we're about even in terms of card advantage. Like, it probably favors me a little bit more. Of course, the Brawl could wreck my day. So I'm trying so hard to draw that Brawl without committing too much.
Armor made to
A blade be thirsty. Back to work.
So that's not too devastating here. Oh, that Earth Shock. You know what? So if that's the case,
Can't do that.
and it looks like I've just disconnected here.
Do that.
Not sure why my internet does this to me once in a while. So I would just totally wipe his board.
I wonder.
So here we are, we're trying to reconnect back. Let's see if we get it back here. Not sure if you guys saw that pop out on the screen here, but
I wonder.
come on, come on. Don't do this to me now. I'm totally winning. I'm totally beating his ass. Come on. So for a second I thought this was the late game control hunter, but the mid range one I'm actually pretty okay with in terms of this matchup. This deck is meant to excel against mid range or rush heavy zoo type decks. Ah man, that was really sad. Yeah, but it looks like my internet's down once again. Which is really, really kind of sad here. Let me see if I can get this fixing. Hmm. Seems like there's something wrong with my connection. Which this tends to happen a lot when, especially when it rains in here. Not entirely sure how that works, but see if you can get it to work. Still nothing, still nothing. Hmm. Let's try the DNS. Typical, this happens like every time I'm about to win. Alright, so looks like we are finally back up and running here. Hopefully, yeah, here we go. So that's really depressing. I totally had that game, I think. Uh,
Busy night, but there's always room for another.
but that's fine here. Let's go into the next game. Hope you get a little bit luckier. Oh, hiccup.
Thrall versus Uther.
I will fight with honor for Doomhammer.
Alright, brilliant hand for this kind of matchup, I believe. The Earth Shark, maybe not so great, but I'm keeping it in case of things like Argent Squires. We're up against a Clegg Kasong.
Greetings, friend.
No idea how you say that.
Well met.
Okay, so that's the what do you call it? The get down card. Oh, and that's just a brilliant, brilliant draw for me. Can trigger it without any issues unless he actually removes it.
Mind if I roll need?
So let's get rid of the get down.
Get down!
Let's shot bat, then play a totem. Oh, and I'm getting really lucky with the totems here. So it's at turn 3, he can play like a Harvest Golem, which is just perfect for me. Because I can play the Earth Elemental, Lightning Bolt, and then I can trade it off. That was basically the perfect answer to that. Basically, like, not definitely, but pretty good.
Not on my watch.
Now, I'm not really sure if this is the best move, but I'm just gonna do it. It does put the Earth Elemental in true silver range. So maybe that was actually a mistake on my part. Yeah, that's the true silver. Kind of have to always assume he has that. Like, I'm not entirely sure about that play on his part, but I think I'm gonna lightning bolt this. So I might just Defender of Arcus next turn to draw the True Silver away. Try to draw out the True Silver rather. Depending on what minion he plays here. So that could be the get down. I'm not entirely sure. Assuming it is the get down, I could trade fairly well here.
My shield for Argus.
Oh, okay, it's a repentance. Which, okay, thank goodness I didn't play the Earth Elemental. Because I was, in my mind, I knew I had to play that, but I was trying to, I thought it was a get down, so I tried to play around that a little bit. Try to draw out the True Silver a bit. There we go, we actually managed to draw out the True Silver, which is brilliant. This on the other hand, it's really, really bad for me. So let's hope we can get a better answer. That's sort of good, but not good enough here. And I think we just go for face.
Into the breach.
That's not really a good answer as well. Though if he attacks with this, I could trade pretty well. This is really nice board to equality consecrate now that I think about it. So that's the True Silver. Looks like he had another one, which is why he used it on the totem. Oh, I'm actually surprised he kept that. Well, that was interesting.
Into the breach.
So there are a few ways I can go about this. I could trade this way.
The light protects me.
Like, I think it was okay to take 2 to the face. I do want to bait out that True Silver once again. And Earth Elemental is too risky because he could run Black Knight, so I'm not gonna play it just tonight. Oh my goodness, the Might of Stormwind. I can't deal with that. I might be dead actually. Or am I? So that is enough to kill it. Do I Earth Shock? I don't think I do here.
I fight.
Into the breach.
So yeah, so at least my Azure Drake is back to somewhat reasonable damage. That's the Holy Wrath. Or rather the Hammer of Wrath, whatever. And that is a really good shock card to Earth Shock.
Reporting for duty.
So does he attack? I'm hoping he does, but he might not. Yes, he does. Okay, that's good. That's really good for me. It looks like he's gonna trade, which is fine. I'm not too upset about that. That's not perfect, but you know what? I have an answer to Tyrion, so I think I'll take the risk here. I know this is the get down, so
Get down!
that actually doesn't really worry me here. So I think I'm gonna play the Earth Elemental. Protect the Azure Drake as long as I can. So if that's an equality, he's practically screwed anyways.
Not on my watch.
Reporting for duty.
So let's do it like this. So yeah, this looks like it's some kind of aggro mid-range-ish
Behold
paladin.
the might of Stormwind.
So the Might of Stormwind won't really
Reporting for duty.
help him. But that Divine Shield was pretty nice draw for him. So I think I'm gonna trade away this. So now that I'm at 3 health, I think I play this, that, and this. So far so good. He's pretty much dead anyways, 12 health to go against 23 against a almost full board with a single card in hand. And I have lethal. Do I have lethal? Yes, I have lethal, unless he can
Reporting
remove,
for duty.
which I don't see any way how.
Well played.
So it's just the equality, a little bit too late. So I think I have enough. Yep, just enough. So as you can see, this deck excels against the mid-range-ish, rushy kind of decks like Zoo. I haven't tried this against the Hunters, but I think it does okay. 2 more wins to go. And I'm hoping that I can get him really quick because I'm actually in a bit of a rush here. So let's see if we can win 2 games in or 3 games in whatever time.
Your soul shall be mine.
Uh,
For Doomhammer.
okay, so we don't want the Alakir's or those. I'm holding on to this in case it's Zoo. Or even if it's Handlock, it's fine. So it would have been nice to have the Argent Squires, but I don't have it, so that's fine as well. So let's see here. Why do you call? No? There we go.
Elements guide.
Next, please. Kind of knew that was. Oh my goodness, I was not expecting that card. I'm pretty sure I'm screwed.
The light protects me.
Wow. Succubus 4/3 for 2. Incredibly powerful card here. Here's the Mortal Coil. He might tap as well. Yep, that's pretty much fine. And I'm just gonna hero power and pass. I'm hoping that he'll drop like a couple more cards. This indicates it's some form of aggro. I've never faced this kind of aggro before, but um so do I want to play greedy and hope he plays more? I don't think I do. At this point it's only a 2-for-1, and against a deck like that, I think we have no choice here. So if he's gonna use like a Hellfire to get rid of that, it's a 2-for-1. Because he plays the Hellfire and he loses a card, which people don't really realize that. And I do want to maintain as much card advantage as possible here.
Don't mess with Tusk.
Okay, so that's the Black Knight is practically a dead card here. So let's play the totems. So I'm trying to think of any basic cards that could kill the Earth Elemental or the current here.
Handle it.
And I can't think of any, so I think we just play the Earth Elemental and have our fingers crossed. Something tells me I'm gonna regret this. But I can see that he has almost 8 damage on the board right now. So, and I know he runs Shadow Bolts, so that's 4. So he'll trade at least 2 creatures here. Oh my goodness, perfect. So I gotta give him props for that. Wow, I had like no answers to this. Okay, so I have no choice here, I have to do this. So this... At least that was sort of like an answer to it. It's not a great one, but... this... I've never seen this deck before, actually. So yeah.
Join or die.
Or both.
My shield for Argus. Shield for Argus.
So that 3/4 is a little tricky, but
Well played.
I think I'm pretty much dead here. This is an aggro deck, but it has a lot of really unique cards, which kind of makes it kind of
Behold the might of Stormwind.
wow. Really nice synergy here. So let's see. That's not too bad.
Death again.
Into the breach. Well played.
So all he needs to do is deal 4 damage to me and he wins. So So basically, a Wolf Rider would win the game for him here, which I'm pretty sure he plays that. Okay, whatever.
Don't
Another
mess
one.
with Tusk.
Well, that's a pretty lucky draw right there. Uh. Oh, the hex is just a little bit too late here. This is gonna get really close here, but he only needs to do 1 damage, so
Your soul shall suffer.
oh my goodness. Oh, next year, wow. And I think there's no way for me to win here. Let me see. Two, three. I guess a taunt totem could save me in theory. Okay, this is gonna seem really weird here.
There is little time. That was a mistake.
Thank
You win this.
So yeah, I kind of botched it by the 1 second here. If I hex both 2 minions, I would have been fine. So yeah, almost won, but not quite. But that's just how the cookie crumbles, I guess. Pretty bad hand for me, not really ideal. And I've never faced a deck quite like that. It's like a swarming kind of deck.
Thrall versus Gul'dan.
Is this the same guy?
Your soul
No.
shall be mine. For Doomhammer.
Oh my goodness. Wait, why did I keep the Azure Drake? I didn't want to keep the Azure Drake. Oh, damn it. So yeah, looks like we're off to a really bad start because I already mulliganed the wrong card. Next turn I'll just coin out the elemental.
I'll get right on
So this trades pretty well unless he monocoils it. Soulfire. Damn.
My shield for Argus.
Okay, so yeah, I pretty much botched this game. Just from the early hand here, so let's just throw in the towel right now. This deck was meant to counter this, but yeah, as you can see, I botched the mulligan by keeping this. If that was just a single lower drop, I would be fine. It's actually weird how badly that went. Usually I would be in a lot better position than that, but yeah, I guess we can have a really, really bad draw and things would just snowball out of control here. He had a good hand as well.
Thrall versus Malfurion.
I must protect the wild. For Doomhammer.
I think it's not a good time to do for that.
The light protects me.
So I'm hoping no turn 1 Yeti, but I do have like solutions to that in my hand.
I fight.
He could turn 2 Yeti, to which I would also have a solution to that. Okay, so this is ramped Druid. This means I could probably afford to play the mana tide now.
I fight.
Oh, and the Black Knight, it's a beautiful draw right there. If he has another wild growth, I'm pretty much dead. He just pulled too far ahead.
I
Oh.
must safeguard the land.
Not quite what I was hoping for, but
I fight.
that's not a great card to have against the Ram Druid. I do have a single hex, which is kind of nice.
I must safeguard the land.
Okay, so that's the silence. Okay, so far so good. Turn 6. This is where the big scary stuff starts popping up.
Tazdingo.
Yes. So do I overload myself? I think I'm gonna Earth Shock and Rock Biter this.
I fight.
So this looks like a good board to swipe, but it's actually just one Argent Squire and a whole bunch of totems. So we'll see what he does here. I'm gonna hold back the Black Knight and the Hex. So there he goes, he's actually gonna swipe here. I guess that was fine. I personally wouldn't have done that, but again, it's fine. Oh, and the Earth Elemental. Pretty good. Now that I've seen the swipe, should be fairly safe to play this. So this would probably warrant a huge taunt, which I would just Black Knight or Hex, depending on what it is. Like if it's a current with a Mark of the Wild, I just Hex it. If not, I Black Knight it.
Where shall I strike?
Oh, okay.
Tazdingo. Yes.
Oh, I would not have done that. So let's see what we got here. Now I don't believe these decks run, so I think I can just play this.
None shall.
Oh, okay. Apparently he does have the Black Knight, which is kind of unexpected, but serves me right, I guess. So if he trades here, that's fine. It's not too devastating. Oh, I really want that spell power totem. Still not gonna quite get it though. Next turn I can clear out his board. So he doesn't quite have enough. Unless he runs like a Force of Nature Savage Roar, to which I'm already dead. Which could be what he's counting for. Either that or disconnected. That's the swipe.
Is my shield.
Hmm. I'm not entirely sure if that was the right move or not, but
Well played.
yeah, I'm pretty much dead anyways. Alright, so not having the best luck today. I would say I had pretty decent draws, but yeah, the ramp druid, it's pretty hard to beat with this kind of deck. Basically, just really late game decks are really hard to beat, like the control warrior or the ramp druid. The zoos can be very easy because this deck was actually meant to fight zoo, but it really does depend on the draws. Like if he gets a good hand and you got a bad one,
I must protect.
yeah, so I'm pretty much dead once again.
For Doomhammer.
Like this is a decent hand, but
The light protects me.
so when mulliganing for a ramp druid, it's actually pretty simple. You just discard everything until you get the what do you call it? The wild growth. And I think I'm just gonna coin this here.
I fight.
You could innovate swipe. Entirely possible. Looks like I'm running out of time here. There's the Ra. Curious choice. Innovate hero power. Okay, that's fine.
I fight.
Taunt Totem's really nice here. Keeps the Squire alive for a little bit longer. Unless he runs Bite.
Tazdingo!
That's the Tastingo. Perfect. So next turn I'll be on 4 mana. I could just play this and a totem. It looks like that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So it's a nice swipe board. Here comes the swipe. Here comes the swipe. So as you can see, I'm doing pretty okay against the Ramp Druid here. That's usually the case if it comes down to him not getting the wild growths early. If he does, I'm pretty much dead. If he doesn't, then it'll be pretty even.
Elements
So it looks like I just have to current the next turn. He's starting to get a bit of an advantage here, but the Stormforge X is going to do wonders for me.
I must safeguard the land.
Yes.
Elements guide me. Your mother near.
So I think the current is the white, the right move, since I already saw one Keeper of the Growth. I could be wrong, and like he could just plain outright play something that would kill me next turn, but like something like that.
We hunger for vengeance.
I actually think I might have botched that a little bit here.
Elements guide me. For
Overcompensated there. Could have played the Defender instead.
who dares defy this ancient
Not quite what I was looking for here, but
for honor?
just gonna get really close from here on at 7 to 1 through 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it is 7 to 7 cards, which on paper it sounds even, but
Where shall I
yeah,
strike?
he's got this kind of cards to play. Trade with this. Come on, do it. Do it. So I know he runs the Black Knight, so I'm not gonna do anything too crazy with that.
Where shall I strike?
So it looks like I might have to here.
My shield for Argus. My shield for Argus.
For honor.
Oh, I should have played the totem. What was I thinking? So I'm hoping he plays the Black Knight. Because after the Black Knight, he doesn't have any really strong removal. So the Earth Elemental would pretty much be extremely powerful here. But we'll see, it's getting really, really close here. Swipe in Black Knight.
The Earth Mother are upon us.
I do have the Hex for another big threat here. Looks like he's running out of answers. And he's probably saving the Black Knight because he saw me play the... Because he saw me play the Earth Elemental before, so he's saving the Black Knight for that. But at this rate, he's gonna die if he doesn't do anything here. He's pretty much dead here.
Well played.
So let's see what he gets with this.
Well played.
Well played.
I should
There he goes. So it looks like we have our revenge here. And I might be 1 or 2 victories away. I'm 1 victory away here, so... one victory away, that's really, really good actually. Not sure if I actually played and won 4 games, but this looks like it's going to be a really long video here. Almost an hour plus. Over an hour actually. So
Brawl versus Malfurion.
alright, let's hope it's not the Ramp Druid.
For Doomhammer.
I never want Alokia or a Sewer Drakes in my opening hand. And typically it comes right back here. So the general rule of mulliganing, I feel, is just to not have anything that costs 5 or above. So anything that costs 5 and above, you just throw it back. Unless it's Harrison Jones against a Shaman or a Hunter or an Ooze. Well, Ooze is the 2-drop, so that doesn't really count. So I'm gonna rush that out, just so that A, I can beat removal, or you know, B, you'll force him to react to it. So that's a really nice draw for me. I could risk it and do the... you know what, I'm not gonna risk it. Oh, and the healing totem's perfect. So I hope he'll just hurry up and make his move here because I'm seriously running out of time.
I must safeguard.
So he's gonna silence it, that's fine. So yeah, against normal druid this deck is fine. Against ramp, if he gets the wild growth, it's fine. It just has
Where
so
shall I
much removal here. Hmm. I think we just.
I wonder.
Well, either way, it's gonna trade. So. You know what? Let's just let it trade with this instead. I'm hoping that he'll be greedy and swings in for that. The Earth Elemental. Or the Unbound Elemental, and then he plays another card. So at least I can get some value out of the Lightning Storm.
Pay attention, class.
Oh, it's Token Druid. My goodness. I did not see that coming. So here comes a spell.
I am ready to learn.
So yeah, it looks like I'm gonna get a lot of value here. Now, I've never played against a Token Druid with this deck. So... Alright, so I didn't actually pay attention to what was going on there. This is the biggest card in Token Druid, so I'm pretty okay with doing this. Unless he plays Scenarios in his Token Druid, which is possible as well. But I don't think it makes too big of a deal here. I do want to fish out the other hacks in case of Scenarios. So I'm going to play Azure Drake and the Totem.
The light protects me.
Okay.
I don't have enough mana.
You don't? You sure you do? Okay, now I'm thinking if I should Lightning Bolt instead. Lightning Bolt and Totem. Which I think makes more sense here. Next turn I'll be at 8 mana, so I can current Totem. I do really want the other hex though. So he could force on Nature's Savage and kill me pretty easily if I'm not careful. That's always something to be wary of. So I've already delayed this meeting my buddies for a bit too long here. It doesn't help that he takes forever to make his move, but...
I must safeguard the land.
Oh, what? What? Okay, it looks like he's gonna take it out here.
Time waits for no one.
So here comes a 5-drop.
Where shall I strike?
So I'm gonna heavily
Elements guide me.
mana lock myself here, but I think that's fine here.
I can see.
Alright. So there we go. So there we go. 5 wins. Pretty pretty sweet here. Let me just show off the deck real quick before I run down or run off here. It's the control shaman here. So 2 earth sharks, 2 lightning bolts. I think I pretty much showed off this deck before. I'm not sure if I made any tweaks here, but you can take a look at the cards here. Really strong deck against Zoo. If you get a good hand and his hand is okay-ish. But if he has the perfect hand, he's gonna beat you anytime. That's the nature of Zoo. But this deck is a pretty good deck to fight against it. And as you can see, it does well against almost everything here. It gives me about a 70-80% win rate if I have a decent opening hand. So yeah, that'll be all for me for this video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like and subscribe button. And you know what? I'll see you guys next time. JP signing up.